Well, here we are. This is a brand new experience for me. We're down here right now at Owens Harley-Davidson on a brand new 2020 Harley-Davidson Street Bob in black. I'm pretty brand new riding Harley-Davidson, so I have a little bit of a nervousness going on, a little bit of anxiety going on, and this is exciting. I'm really freaking stoked for this. I don't know why. I mean, it's just a motorcycle, but holy crap, I know nothing about Harley-Davidsons other than what I've read. First impressions from just sitting on the motorcycle right now. The kickstand's kind of wonky to get to. It seems like the weight is very well balanced and low. I'm coming from my Vulcan over there. That bike weighs 500 pounds soaking wet, and this one supposedly weighs like 650 or something like that, but just sitting on this bike, it doesn't feel like it weighs anymore. I guess it's just the weight's all balanced down low on this bike, and wow. But anyways, let's fire it up. I mean, I know how to fire these things up because I sat on one. But it says it's in neutral, so we'll go ahead and pull the clutch in anyways. I shouldn't get that excited about stuff like that, but I did. Okay, we got the turn signals here. Alright, it says I'm in neutral, but let the clutch out. We're going to let it sit here and run for a minute while I kind of gather my thoughts. This is exciting. Looking at videos of this thing on YouTube, it seems like it's way smaller. And then, you know, I'm sitting on this and people say that this tank is too tiny and shit, but I think it's very well proportioned to this bike. Oh my god, this thing it's beautiful. I mean, I'm not a Harley guy. I've never owned one before. And I've always thought that their bikes are too expensive, so I'm kind of a hater in that sense, but oh my god, this thing is beautiful. I hope I'm not getting too excited for you guys out there. You know, a lot of you guys out there have ridden bikes for a long time, and you know, this would be like no big deal. You just jump on a motorcycle and go, but sorry for the swearing. But to me, this is really pretty cool. I can already tell you right now I'm not going to be a fan of these mid controls. I know that much because they're back too far, but oh, there's that clunk into first that Harleys do. Wow. Oh my god, that clutch engages like really soon. I'm going to have to get used to the torque on this bike. I'm used to riding Japanese bikes that basically develop all their power in the upper RPM range. And this thing is just like, if I were to say that my heart wasn't beating about 1,000,000 miles per hour right now, I'd be lying. Oh, now see, this is something that my Vulcan doesn't do very well, is cruise at low speeds, because the throttle is extremely jerky on it, but this one seems so much smoother. Okay. Get her up into third. God, this bike feels so stable. Incredibly stable. I'm really impressed with this thing so far. How does she turn? Oh, man, she turns good. Self-canceling turn signals. I like that. You can see behind me good. You have to forgive me if I'm really super excited about this, because this bike just... It's got like a rawness to it and kind of a roughness to it, but at the same time it feels refined, you know? I can't go that way. I'll go this way. Let's see how I get on a low speed turn in. Nice and easy. But yeah, I was just saying, it feels like like you have this uncontrolled animal between your legs. That's how I feel anyways. I have some anxiety and some nervousness about riding this thing because, well, it's a brand new Harley, and I think this one's the ABS model, so that's really cool. Come to a stop, put my feet down. Yeah, see, those plagues hit right where I want to put my feet. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm kind of nervous riding this. I almost don't feel like talking because this is so awesome. But it's also at the same time kind of therapeutic being able to talk to myself and talk to you guys while I'm riding this thing. I'm really liking this. At first I had scheduled this test ride. I was going to do it this Saturday. Zero Street, is that the one I'm supposed to turn on? Nope. Okay. I had originally scheduled this test ride for Saturday, and ended up changing my mind. So this is kind of a spur of the moment sort of thing as far as taking this test ride today, because Saturday's weather is supposed to be 50 degrees, which means it's going to be colder than shit other than about 20 minutes in the afternoon, right around 3 o'clock when it's actually going to be warm. So right now it's 55 degrees and it's been pretty warm all day. So I thought it'd be a good time to come down and just kind of ride this bike. Man, this is something that I could get used to for sure. That's something funky I'm noticing about. It's got a gear indicator on it, but it only shows you what the gear you're in is if the clutch is out. Oh, buddy, you know, if I would have tried to ride this bike when I first started riding, I probably would have killed myself. Man. But I want to say thank you to Keith that works over here at Owens Harley-Davidson for setting me up with this test ride. It's been really cool working with me over the last week, talking about Harleys and doing test rides and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on the highway just for a little bit and take this back to my own neighborhood, back by my house, where I'm a little more comfortable riding. Put her down in a second for this. See how she takes this corner. I'm only doing 26 miles an hour. I don't know, the first time you guys rode a Harley-Davidson, was it this freaking cool or what? So let's see how this does on the highway. I really wish it had a tachometer on there. Maybe it does, but I can't tell what the oh, there it is. I gotta find it. Okay, there it is. Tachometer. 2400 RPMs. I'm in 4th gear, 2400 RPMs, doing 47. I can already notice, I rode my Vulcan over here on the same highway, and I can already tell that this thing feels a lot more stable at speed. And I actually do really kind of like these 12-inch mini apes on this, and I never thought I'd be a fan of it, but we'll just see how it goes, you know, after I put some time with my hands on these bars, see if my hands start to go numb or start to feel weird or whatever. Now there is a bunch of wind on my chest, I can feel that much. Seems maybe even, I think I'm actually riding into the wind. I apologize if you guys can't hear me or if the audio is really super loud. So I'm in 5th gear and it's only 2400 RPMs at, let's see, we'll put it in 6th gear, 60 miles an hour to 2200 RPMs. It's just like, this thing is just idling down the highway. Yeah, these foot pegs are totally in the wrong spot for me. I think I'm way too tall for mid-ridge pegs on this bike. Although I gotta say, it gives it a nice sporty feeling, that's for sure. Wow, the downshifting is smooth. Wow, that downshifting is magical. Oh, and the downshift rev match action is good too. Oh man, I hope I don't get a cop behind me because this bike does not have a plate on it. But Keith down there told me, hey, take it, man, we'll be gone for an hour, however long you need to be. So I'm gonna be gone for a while. Hopefully I don't run out of GoPro battery, but I gotta tell you guys, man, I absolutely love this. I could see that having this bike with forward controls be a hell of a lot nicer, but oh man, these brakes got all kinds of bite. The rear brake lever, though, you have to push it down pretty far to get it to engage. That's no big deal. Maybe be able to adjust that. See the reflection of the turn signals in that truck, man. These things they're nice and bright. I don't know if this bike has LED turn signals. I know it has an LED brake light and headlight, but I can't tell if the turn signals are LED also. So, man, that front rim is beautiful, though. I could definitely get used to this. Oh man. Now I don't have any technical specs on this bike because I don't really care about them. Me riding this bike is basically just to get the feel of what a new Harley-Davidson is like, and so far I'm absolutely loving it because like I said, it feels refined, but at the same time it feels just like I don't even know how to describe it. It just you can feel it. I can just absolutely feel everything that this bike is doing. The rev range, the braking, the cornering, just everything about it. Just have to get used to that RPM range on this thing because it's much different than my Vulcan. Corner. God, this thing corners nice. Now I don't know what the red line is on these engines. What, the Milwaukee 8? Yeah. I'm in second gear, and this is a pretty steep hill. GoPro never shows how steep hills are, but this thing is just going up it effortlessly. What I could say I do like right now, immediately, that I like over the Vulcan, is I'm going over this bumpy part of this road. Now on my Vulcan, it's extremely choppy because my hands, you know, it's kind of chopping back and forth on the throttle, so I'm doing this lurching stuff, but man, on this bike, I'm not feeling that at all. It's just smooth. The suspension's not bad either. I mean, it's kind of stiff. We'll take this sharp corner here. Oh, wow. This thing turns like a dream, too. I can't necessarily say that I'm in love with the foot peg position on this bike, but everything else about it I'm really liking. Really, really liking. I wonder how much it would cost to move the pegs forward a little bit. Oh, she even U-turns nice and easy too. Let's put it somewhere where we can get some good light on it. I'm going to get off and stretch my leg here just for a minute so we can find neutral. That was easy. I don't like where the kickstand's kind of hidden on this bike because of those foot pegs, but now the kickstands make me nervous because they move. Okay, it's time to work out that cramp in my leg. God, look at it. Wow. You know how I feel right now? It's like when you were a kid and you had something you wanted really bad for Christmas and you wake up on Christmas and you got it. Only this isn't mine, but I don't usually get this excited about things. When I picked up my Vulcan, I was like kind of freaked out to ride it because it just come from like a Ninja 300 and my Shadow was the only things I'd ridden before. So I wasn't prepared for, you know, basically the amount of power that Vulcan had. So I was really nervous to get on it and ride it home, and I actually had to take it home and park it in the driveway and just kind of calm down and stuff like that. And then it took me a little while longer to actually get out there back on the road because I was a little nervous riding it. I'm nervous riding this thing because it's brand new and it's not mine. If this were my bike, holy crap, I would just ride the wheels off of this thing and my wife probably wouldn't see me for a few days. Being completely honest here, I absolutely was afraid of this happening because I knew in my mind that if I actually got on a brand new Harley and I rode it, I would fall in love with it, and I absolutely have. Now, I love the looks of this bike. There are some things that I would have to change on it, obviously, but since it's the Softail chassis that pretty much all their Softails use, parts are pretty much interchangeable. The only thing that I don't like about this bike, other than the foot peg position, is I really wish that this had the classical style gauge like some of the other Softails had. I don't mind that. It's really nice and it's pretty and it's functional and everything. It looks great on this bike, but if I could have the bigger gauge with the slightly bigger gas tank, yeah, I wouldn't cry about it. But I don't think, this one having a 3.5 gallon fuel tank on it, and I have to stop about every 100 miles if I were to go on a trip or something on this bike. But honestly, 100 miles, that's an hour and a half in the saddle. Who the hell does not want to get off their bike after an hour and a half in the saddle? And I don't know, in all my years of travel, not really very many stretches of this country where there's not a gas station for 150 miles. So the brakes would be welcome. And the smaller tank, it really wouldn't be an issue for me. I would have to put a pillion seat on it, maybe a better seat, because I got on it a little bit. I didn't romp on it, but I could see where people complain about this seat not really holding you in place when you really get on the throttle. So I'd have to put a better seat on it with a pillion on it, a little backrest, some passenger pegs, just kind of kit it out just a little bit for my wife to ride on also. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. I am blown away. Let's hit this got hazards on it. These all have hazards, right? Okay, now we can see how bright these the tail lights are. Oh yeah, man, those are nice and bright. The bike is bigger. It's way bigger than it looks on videos. I mean, it's not huge, but it's so well proportioned. Even that headlight is gorgeous. Oh man, I could own this bike and get rid of my Vulcan and my Shadow and not have a problem with that at all. I love the pipes, the little cutouts there, so you can see the pipes in behind there. Let's turn this off for a minute. How do I turn it off? Oh, okay, let's kill the hazards. Okay, there we go. Yeah, man. These would probably have to go. These are kind of silly looking. I don't know why those are even on there. Why? I mean, that's like what the Iron 1200 or the Sportster 48 or whatever the hell it's called. It's got those on there. I like the breather. I mean, it looks nice. It's factory, but it looks nice because you see these little circles here and the circles there. I hope you can see that. The camera's pointing right. That match is nice. I think I'd probably take this thing apart and kind of paint it, whatever color that the exhaust turned. Oh. Why is it still flashing? Didn't I turn on to freaking hazards? Why? Oh, I guess you can't. Well, that's interesting. So you can't turn the hazard lights off until you turn the ignition on. Or maybe that's just me being a dumbass, but that seat is beautiful. What time is it anyways? God, it's only 3:26. I think maybe. I was going to say I'd take this thing back to the house and show it to my wife, but she'll just have to watch the video. I mean, she doesn't really watch my videos, but so I'm going to get back on this thing and go put some more miles on it. I'm the first one to ride this bike. It's kind of an honor, I've been in the Harley dealership and I looked at another bike. Now I want to test ride the what is it? The Sport Glide? Yeah, the Softail Sport Glide. That's going to be the next one I test ride because that's one that I've had my eye on as well. Kind of looking at. They're supposed to get the Softail standard in, but I can just kind of skip it because I'd go straight for this bike just because it's way more beautiful for not much more. But I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what the hell I was saying. I'm overwhelmed with this. This is really, really cool. But I love the keyless ignition. Look at that dumb shit. That's now I know why when I'm watching videos with Harleys and the guys are test riding them, the turn signals are just flopping all over the place. This one's got loose turn signal. Or maybe I should try to fix that. That would take some getting used to. Honestly, that stupid kickstand, that still makes me nervous, but he said they do that. But this is that would have to be tightened up. Wonder how long it's been flopping around like that shit. See if I can turn it. Okay, that looks about right. But anyways, I was saying the keyless start on this would be so cool to have. You just hop on the bike and fire it up. I don't know if this one's got the security alarm on it. Maybe. Who knows? I gotta get this again. I love that. I absolutely love that. It's almost like you guys gotta kind of bear with me. Like I said, I've never ridden a Harley, a brand new one before, but I'm a Harley noob through and through. But I love that. I'm gonna do that again. I just have to. You can feel the engine kind of, jumping to life, and I gotta do it again. It almost sounds like the starter is just kind of straining against itself to do something, but at the same time you can feel the mass of the V-twin and how it's pushing those, it's pushing those cylinders up and down in the bores, and it's doing its thing, pushing that compression, and you can almost feel it, the compression when it starts up and just starts doing its thing. Man, what an absolutely lovely sound. Yeah, I could get used to that throttle. It's weird. It's like a little bit of a delay, like a lag or something like that, but let's get out of this neighborhood before this gentleman over here calls the cops on the scumbag Harley rider sitting in his cul-de-sac. Oh, so what do I think? Man, is this enough to convert a non-Harley guy into a Harley guy? Well, I can almost say for certain that because of the smile on my face, yeah, I get it now. I mean, I get it. I get what all the talk is, and all the, all the praise for Harley and how cool they are and everything, and it's a brand new experience for me, and I gotta say I love the way that this bike feels. And I like that about it. I know these things make a lot of power, like really down low, like right off idle and stuff, so I could put it in second gear and just lope along and just still have the guts, like basically just right off of just loping along. This thing has just got the nuts to do it. You Harley guys out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, this feeling. Man, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I would have killed myself riding this thing when I first started riding, because this throttle, I mean, it's not touchy like the Vulcan is, but the Vulcan would when I mean it's touchy down low, it doesn't produce like a lot of torque. So it starts to pull and stuff, but this one's just like it's just instant. It's like turning on a light switch, but it's got a feel to it. This is just absolutely awesome. Okay, maybe I just need to kind of relax my seating position a little bit here, and I might actually make it feel a little bit better. I'm getting used to that friction zone now. It's not taking very long. It's almost like I just needed to kind of step off the bike for a minute and just kind of gather my thoughts, and then the feeling, the muscle memory comes into you from riding a bike. This thing feels just phenomenal. That new bikini fairing, or that quarter fairing thing that Harley-Davidson put out for these things now, I can imagine that thing being on this bike. It would cut the wind perfect. It would get right off my chest but keep it on my head, and I think it would be just perfect. So we're in third gear, just kind of loping along. Wow. You know, the only thing that I would do to this bike is just put some exhaust on it. Just a little slip-on. Little slip-on exhaust. I just want to be able to hear the engine a little bit more. I can already hear it. I mean, I can still hear it, no problem. Even on the highway I could hear it, but I think I would want it to just make a little bit more sound. I don't think it needs any more power whatsoever, because it seems to me like the straighten that out a little bit. The power band on this thing, since it's got gobs of torque right off of idle, and it lopes along on the freeway just like 2,400 RPMs or 2,200 RPMs in sixth gear at 60 miles an hour, and you have that instant pull when you want it. I wouldn't do anything as far as like adding power to this bike. To me, it's got plenty. But at the same time, I can understand why people would want to, you know, tune this and tune that and do this and whatever to these bikes, because I'm sure it's probably pretty addictive, you know, tuning these things and adding stuff to them, customizing them and making them your own and everything. And all right, we're gonna go. Oh my God, turnout from a stop is just phenomenal on this bike. You can just dip it and it just goes. I know a lot of people have trouble making right-hand turns from stoplights and stuff like that, but maybe it's the peg position or the mini apes that are on this bike, but this thing just dips. Just dips and goes. God, this thing just gets up to speed so fast, but it doesn't at all feel uncontrollable. It feels like, you know, you're in complete control the whole time. I like the mirrors. I mean, I could see behind me just fine. There's nothing poking me in the legs as I'm riding. I can even hear that airbox doing its job. That's really cool. I don't know what time it is. I mean, the heart of the place closes at 6, and I'm supposed to ride the Sport Glide, but I'm having a lot of fun on this. The Sport Glide is like, gosh, what is it, $6,000 or $7,000 more than this, but it comes with you know, some extra things. But you know, riding this thing, I'm wondering if I would even need those, because this is just it's a fantastic bike. I know this road up here I'm going to ride down is extremely rough. Oh, that downshift rev match, I love that. I do that a lot on my Vulcan. I just love doing it. Some guys don't do that at all, but I think not only is it fun to do, but it's also therapeutic. And to be able to do that on a Harley-Davidson, man, it's even better. You know, when I get back to the dealership, I'm just going to have to clean that wet spot up off the seat that I'm leaving. Oh yeah, this thing's handling this road pretty good. My Vulcan would almost throw me out of the freaking seat when I'm driving down this road on that bike. While this one, it feels pretty rough on it. It's not trying to buck me out of the seat like my Vulcan does. Especially that bump right back there. That thing is freaking horrible. So I've been riding around on this thing for quite a while, and I thought maybe that my arms would go numb or get tired from having these mini apes on here, because my arms are just basically, they're slightly below my shoulders. But I'm not really having a problem right now. I mean, I really do kind of like it. I guess if I maybe even got a better seat that was just a little bit taller, I mean, that would probably help too. Man, what an experience this has been. Just what an absolute joy this motorcycle is. This bike has soul. You know, it's got character, it's got soul, it's got something to it. I can't really say that about my Vulcan. I mean, if this bike were parked in my garage, I would absolutely go out there just to look at it. And I'm sad to say that my Vulcan just doesn't do that to me. Don't get me wrong, it's not an ugly bike by any means, but it just doesn't have I don't know. I guess, you know, I'm finding out firsthand now that there's just something about a Harley. And I hope you guys that are watching this video, you know, if you're a Harley rider or not, I hope you're just kind of enjoying this experience with me. My first time on a brand new Harley-Davidson, and it has not been disappointing. It kind of, I find myself every once in a while, you know, I'm listening to these little noises and rattles and pops and things that this bike is doing, wondering, you know, if it's normal, if it should be doing that. Well, I'm on a freaking Harley, of course it should be doing that, right? Actually, I guess, you know, the more I'm kind of getting used to these pegs, they're not, well, I don't know, my leg is still kind of cramping up a little bit, so these would probably definitely have to be changed. But it seems, I mean, it's nice and maneuverable at 40 miles an hour, but it seems like it just, you know, like a good bike should do, you let go of it and it just straight as an arrow, just arrow straight, right back where it should be. Oh shit. Oh! Wow. That freaking water grate was about 3 feet deep. So that kind of hurt. I don't know, guys. What do you think, man? I mean, is this bike for me or what? I'm going to pull over here again. And just kind of... See, this thing is like no problem. Low speed maneuver turning and stuff. I'm just gonna get off one more time. I just have to, I gotta look at this bike again before I take it back. God, that kickstand just, wow. God, if I had forward controls on it, this would be, I'd probably go sign the papers today. But I have to refrain because there are other Softails that I've been looking at, and I don't want to jump into something after I've just ridden one of them. This, like I said earlier, this is just, how's the experience? Am I going to get hooked? Am I going to love this Harley thing? So far, so good. But I cannot just say, you know, I love this bike, I want it, let's just sign the papers right now. I have to at least, you know, ride the other bikes that I'm looking at just to give them a fair shot too. Because I'd hate to, you know, sign the papers on this, the Street Bob, and then, you know, realize that maybe the Slim was a better fit for me, or I like the Slim better, or I like the Sport Glide better, or, you know, whatever other Softail that I'm looking at. But I can just honestly say that I'm absolutely just, I'm kind of blown away, and I have to kind of, you know, eat my own words here. And because for years and years and years, I always thought that Harley-Davidson, you know, was just kind of hype. And not being a Harley guy, I can tell you right now that, you know, maybe it's just a new thing though. Maybe I might not have liked the Evo motors or the twin cam motors or whatever the heck else they had before the Milwaukee 8, but I absolutely love that engine. Just the way it sounds stock, the way it rides, how you can feel it. This chassis on this motorcycle is extremely refined. It's so easy to handle, and it weighs 200 pounds more than my Vulcan, but it feels like it just, in the corners and everything, there's just something about it. I won't say it handles better than my Vulcan, but I feel at home on this bike, and it's odd because I didn't think I would. When before I came down here to pick it up from the dealership to take it for a test ride, I was really nervous about it because I thought, you know, it's 200 pounds more and I'm going to screw something up and I'm going to drop it. But just riding it around that first neighborhood back there, I could immediately feel that me and this bike are going to get along. And yes, we are getting along very well. Look at that headlight though. That's beautiful. It's tiny. It's, what is that, like a 5-inch headlight? But you know what? It fits this bike. And honestly, it does fit this bike. What time is it? 3:47. But I better get back, and I've been gone for almost an hour now. And I would absolutely love to keep this bike overnight and go spend some more time with it, you know, tomorrow and over the weekend and stuff. But it's going to be hard turning this bike back over because it just, wow. Let's see if it's got range on it. 18 miles on it. I don't know if it's got fuel range. Yep, range, 123 miles left on this tank. Dude, yeah. I could totally rock. This gas tank would not bother me at all. The size of this, no, I'd be good. I can't believe how freaking light it feels. I mean, I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds, but it just seems like it wants to self-center, you know? Like it just wants to pull itself back up. I guess because of the mass of this engine being so low in the chassis. Maybe that's it, but anyways. Oh, wait, I gotta do this real quick again. I have to hear this again. I love it. This is going to be an extremely long video, but I don't even give a shit. I honestly have tears in my eyes because I'm laughing so joyously. Harley-Davidson, you have a new customer. Anyways, let's get this thing back to the dealership before they think I wrecked it or stole it. I want to at least be able to test ride some other bikes, so we'll get this thing back. I love that. This thing has easily twice as much torque as my Vulcan does. I don't know what the heck the horsepower rating is, but like I said, I wasn't going to talk about specs and stuff like that because honestly, when it comes to riding a motorcycle, it's all about how they feel. And sometimes sometimes they could have really good numbers on paper and just feel like shit, but anyways, I'm going to ride this thing back to the dealership. And I don't know if you guys can understand me very well because I don't know, you know, how noisy this bike is with my helmet, but I'm going to take this thing back to the dealership, and I want to thank you guys for coming along with me for my first Harley experience, technically. It's been so freaking awesome. If you guys like my content, my videos and stuff, please remember to hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe and comment down below. I want to thank everybody for watching once again, coming along for this. This has been like a really cool experience riding this bike. So anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video. I love that.